So, it's the end of the Cold War, the USSR is gone, and globalization is hitting the world like a truck. Now, with there being world spread manufacturing and communication, everything from everywhere has now become more connected, including art. That being what I want to focus on the anime of Japan. Anime might not be something you first think of when you think of globalization, but I argue that anime is majorly culturally significant in the West, through its influential themes and effects on Western art.
Starting out, it's good to know what anime is and its history in the West. Anime is an American term for Japanese animation, coming from the English word animation. It began in the West as early as the 1960s, but it wouldn't really see that much success during this time, only really popping off in the 1990s, thanks to a little place called Cartoon Network, or more specifically, Toonami. Toonami was a block on Cartoon Network specifically made for localized anime, and where popular anime such as Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon first aired in the West. Toonami was hugely successful and is what first brought anime into many people's eyes.
As I recently stated, Dragon Ball Z was an anime featured on Toonami, it being an adaptation of the manga by Akira Toriyama, and where the main character Goku constantly has to defeat villains in order to save the world using magical power known as Ki alongside a colorful cast. And needless to say, it's very popular. I mean, I bet most of you knew the Kamehameha as the Dragon Ball thing before you knew it as the Hawaiian King. That alone goes to show how influential it is, and that's not even touching things like the Super Saiyan transformation, something that has been constantly referenced in tons of pieces of media. However, Dragon Ball Z wasn't all just about flair and fights. It's a story about overcoming the odds and doing everything in your power to save others. I think a great example of this is the Spirit Bomb, a special technique used by Goku where energy must be taken from the environment and people to power the attack. It displays a powerful sense of unity and hope that has resonated with many people. Another super iconic anime that aired on Toonami was Sailor Moon, an adaptation of the manga by Naoko Takeuchi in which the protagonist, Usagi Tsukino, would become the amazing Sailor Moon using the power of a magical brooch given by a special cat named Luna, fighting evil and meeting other Sailor Scouts along the way. This series popularized many things, such as astrology and female empowerment, and even giving representation to LGBTQ+. However, what most people would consider the most culturally significant aspect of Sailor Moon are the transformation sequences. Beautifully animated sequences where characters would enter their spectacular other form, something still referenced in many things. One more influential anime that I want to talk about is Pokemon, in which the protagonist, Ash Ketchum, goes on an adventure to become a Pokemon master, exploring and meeting many new people and creatures in the world of Pokemon. As most people know, it's an adaptation of the video game series of the same name. It certainly made its impact in the West, growing incredibly popular, coming with its fair share of positive and negative aspects. Some positive aspects of Pokemon are its innovation through video games and its bringing of anime into the mainstream. While it's certainly arguable that the current mainline Pokemon games innovate, the influence of Pokemon Go could not be understated. Pokemon Go allowed people to go out and catch Pokemon in the real world, showing people how combining video games and the outside world is successful. Pokemon also really served to bring anime into the mainstream. I mean, who doesn't know who Pikachu is? It was a great anime for young audiences and is what probably led to people's further engagement with the medium. However, switching over to the negative aspects, Pokemon was seen as a bad influence by many. Most parents would argue that Pokemon promoted violence and gambling through imagery seen in the games and anime. Whether these criticisms were warranted or not, they happened nonetheless and caused outrage against Pokemon. Some people even claiming Pokemon was satanic, which I find frankly ridiculous. Wouldn't you say the same, Pokemon Satan? Despite that being the last anime on the list, there's one more show I want to talk about to demonstrate the effect of anime on Western media, that being Avatar: The Last Airbender. An American series that aired on Nickelodeon about a legendary boy in a world of people with elemental abilities, in which he would meet many people and eventually save the world from the tyrannical Fire Nation. Avatar has many ways it's influenced by anime, through its artwork, fight scenes, and world building. They even first attempted to get an actual Japanese animation studio for the show, but had to settle with a Korean one, still achieving that distinct anime look that's easy to see. They would take inspiration from anime like Cowboy Bebop in their fight scenes, and even designed an anime-style power system with bending, where certain people could control either water, fire, earth, or air through unique martial arts. In conclusion, anime is epic, and a huge inspiration for many people all around the world. Its impact on the world of animation and art cannot be understated. With that being said, my treasure, if you want it, you can have it. Seek it out! I left everything I own at that